Hello everybody, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Hi! I'm just poking around my settings to fix a thing, but it's an easy thing to fix. And I know how to fix it, and that's just good news. That's supposed to be my microphone. How are you guys doing today? Happy, what is it, Thursday? It must be Thursday. Simply must be Thursday. Say that one. And then we're gonna go into this one, and that one should have that one. And then this one should have a mute too. Every now and then my computer forgets about my microphone, but then it's like, there it is, but then I have to re-select it in everything that uses the microphone. But once you do that, it works good for another like 5 months until it happens again. It is Thursday. Christy B, thank you very much for the 8-month resub. Appreciate it. Legna shirt today. Legna shirt, I saw it today. I viewed it. I've been reading I've been reading White Fang again, so I wanted a wolf shirt today. Never left stream yesterday. Hello there. Morning. May or may not have spent 20 pounds on League. Morning, Scarlet. Nick of time. Something like that. I bet the cat's gonna come back. Today, I want to poke around at a couple of things. One of them is that I can do Nighthold. I could do Nighthold, I could do a little tomb, could try for the 2 Nighthold mounts that I need and the 2 Sargeras mount that I need. But before I do any of that, there's like these snails. There are snails, and I lack them. I lack snails. And there's one in particular that I think is supposed to be pretty easy. And I'm just gonna remind myself of how it works. And we're gonna put this all together. So, what we're gonna do, I need to farm myself an empty magma shell. And then I need to get some help because I can maybe live it with like some evoker cooldowns, but it's apparently a lot easier if you just get people to heal you. And then I'm gonna channel the thing, and then I'm gonna get a snail. You can also do it with a horn of lava swimming, but I don't have one of those, and I'm not about to start farming Dragonbane Keep to get one. Silver Stitcher, thank you for the 12-month resub. Happy 1 year! 1 whole year. Fun. Magma Shell. Yeah, Magma Shell first. The World Eater is also something to look into. I'm gonna get one snail and see how that makes me feel, because I think the second one is more of a farm, I believe, something along those lines. Let's get into a damage spec, because we've got some snails to farm. Escargot. Buy it off the auction house. Let me see, how cheap? Because sometimes my thinking is that if it's cheap, yeah, it's 575 gold. My thinking is that if it's cheap on the auction house, that must mean it's not that hard to farm. And I want to farm one. I want one for my very own. Let's get on the renewed Proto Drake. And where am I going to farm it? And then the flip side is that if they're expensive, I also don't want to buy them, and I also want to farm it myself, because if it's expensive, then that means that it's expensive, and I'm cheap, so comes out to the same thing. 37,73-ish lava snails in the Waking Shores. So that would be like, there's 37, there's 73, somewhere in around there. Tempted to I'm gonna put myself on a flight path. It's not very far, but I want a second to drink some coffee. 1,000 Magmote tokens for the other snail. Yeah, and there was something about like a duration, like a couple of days I have to do it before I have to get like another farming buff or something along those lines. So I had some thought of starting that one before a weekend, so I had like weekend streams to work on it, but I'm not 100% clear. And honestly, we're gonna look at that after the first snail. One snail at a time. My brain has no room in it. There's this thing's about to pop, so one snail at a time. Easy drop. Priestess 4. Offer to give it away. No takers. Okay. Alright. Caffeine good? Caffeine good. Today is the first day, I'm pretty sure, of Aber's raid testing. It's back. It's time. It's here. I hope I get a good group. I hope I can get into the same group that I got into last time. I don't know if they're running again. I didn't see anything on the Discord, but I really hope that they are, because that group carried for the Vault of the Incarnates raid testing, so I'd love to run with them again. All hail Mighty Caffeine. Good morning. Or afternoon. It's 9 a.m. for me. I'm gonna kill some snails. Feels a bit rude, you know, I don't know what the snails did to me, but it's because I want to keep one. It's really a snail appreciation effort. I also want a little bit more music. I want a little bit more game music. Can we do that? Yeah, something like that. 7 p.m. for all of us here in Europe. Need heals for your lava diving? Yeah, I will. I think what I'm gonna do when the time comes is I'm actually just gonna open up a group and solicit aid. So I gotta farm myself my shell first, but I don't know if it'll take that long. So just slugs, snails. Oh, here's a snail. Maybe this will have it. I think Evoker has a chance at being able to do it with the right cooldowns and gear and stuff, because you can use Obsidian Scales and Renewing Blaze, which with the right talents can provide you a pretty strong amount of healing. Did it say lava slugs as well as lava snails? Lava, snails, slugs, or slurpers? Okay. Snails, slugs, slurpers. Oh, what a thing to call. Oh, I guess they are they? Well, no, they're slugs. They're not snails. They're snail adjacent. Shell on the auctionist is about 575 gold. 7 p.m. for all of us in Europe. Interesting collecting the Drake cosmetics. Gonna rock the Razageth skin. Oh, hey, I got my Elementius Splinter. I don't think I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna treat it kind of like I treated in Shadowlands the soul shapes. I would get them if they were in my way. And I would be excited to get them, but I didn't go like out of my way to try to get all of them. I certainly didn't try to 100% them. I think I feel good with that level of engagement. You know, if there's something that feels fun, that's a way to farm dragon customizations, then that's cool. But I don't think I'm gonna 100% them, and I think it's better for me. It's better for my happiness if I don't. But yeah, it's hard to take off the Razageth customization when you have it. It's just so flashy. What is a slurper? I was contemplating as I said that regardless of what sort of sounds a creature likes to make, I would have to have like a special kind of lack for its dignity in order to name it a slurper. Cat had to go to the vet this morning, was not happy. Yelled at me the whole way there and back. Ah, yes. Speaking of dignity. Oh, how dare you. Meow. Dragon Rider's Compassion buff, the shield from Dragon Riding. Ooh, that's clever. That's smart. You solo it with that? Alkerville, thank you very much for the 3-month resub. I'm getting elemental fires from this. I guess I should keep an eye on my loot window to make sure that if I do get my shell, that I notice. Lava River has lots of slurpers at 22,71. Okay. I'm just about at 2071, so I guess I can just follow this north. No, I lost it. I'm lost. I'm going back. It did solo, but I had a health proc and a heal totem. Okay. Alkerva, thank you for the 3-month reset. Very much appreciated. Speaking of kitty cats, would you like to come say hi? I would be so happy if you'd come and sit with me. I miss you. I didn't see you a lot yesterday. I know. Hi. Baby girl. Katie, that's not the camera friendly end. It's not the glamorous end of the cat. Doing 6 Razageth LFR kills weekly for the skin. It'll drop some more. LFR's getting better at it. I mean, that's kind of encouraging. That is some commitment you've got there, though. I definitely, I've been killing Razageth, but I definitely got lucky. I know plenty of people in our raid that have killed it just as much as I have that have not gotten the skin. That's the TOS end of the cat. Instead of the weekly Raz farm for the form, to evade Mythic Incarnate for the, for the icon of the Airnog ring. Vault disagrees, he's given me trash for 3 weeks now. Sometimes the Vault is a spiteful creature. Sometimes it doesn't want to play ball. This isn't where I need to be, but there's herbs in here. We like those. The good news is that I'm not in any wild amount of a hurry. There's time. So much LFR. 9 tunes a week to try for it. No luck yet. So much LFR. I wonder how, I wonder if the drop rate is the same across difficulties. I would assume and hope that it's the same across difficulties. I'm curious though. Restless lava. This doesn't seem to be quite right. Feels like a 5% drop rate. For a while, I thought that it was a guaranteed 1 drop per kill because in our raid, which was, somewhere, that river maybe. In our raid, which is somewhere in the range of like 15 to 20 people, we were getting 1 precisely per week for a while. I figured every week there's 1 Razza skin and that's the end of it. And then one week we didn't get any of them and we thought, excuse me, where is it? And then the following week there was 2 of them. So it's not a guaranteed single, but the odds were averaging out so that in our like kind of 15-ish person group we were getting 1. Seen 3 drop and 1 LFR. Oh, here we go. Lava spices for a regurgitated stone hand axe from Enkind. Oh, I wonder if that's a rare. I think there's a rare that drops a weapon that I need the Mog for. And maybe I have to summon spices, or I have to farm spices to summon the rare. Enkind, you'd think that the rare would be like in the area. Massive meg. Oh no, the other area. Enkind the Variable. It is available in the obsidian anglers beside the lava pool. Collect a lava spice and then use it to fish in the lava pool to trigger the event. Oh, okay. I learned something today. Super excited for the rumors about a tank spec for Evokers, or at least letting the Dracula race tank. I haven't super kept up. I know I heard something about them being open to eventually adding other classes to Dracula, which would let them tank via like a warrior or something. But what's the evidence for the spec rumor? Is it like a data mining thing? We're looking at strings, text, cutscenes. Data mined quest mentioning a new spec. That is pretty promising. Ian's uncle's cousin's brother mentioned it to his barber. It's one of those things that on one hand, I feel like if they were gonna do it, they would have. Okay, so the guy is here. I need some lava spices. If they were gonna do it, you'd think they would have done it like when they made the class in the first place. But on the second hand, they have been a lot more receptive than they used to be to just considering really popular feedback, and people are ravenous for a tank evoker. They want it so bad. Roll the snail. Roll the snail. So I think I could see it happening. At least I could see it happening from the Dragonflight team. I think that if we were having this conversation and it was in like BFA, nah, absolutely not. As always, believe it when I see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a smart way to live your life. Now I want to summon that rare. Like, don't get me wrong, I want the shell too, but now I'm thinking, well, what if I can get the, what is it called? The regurgitated stone hand axe? That's something that every girl needs in her life. Release a new spec mid expansion. Keep people talking about it. It would be a good thing though, right? I think. Have I collected many mounts in Dragonflight? I don't know if I would say many for Dragonflight mounts. I would say many mounts in general. Dragonflight mounts, I haven't like really systemically gone through and ground them out yet. I'm just sort of starting that now. Oh, what's that? Oh, magic mount chest. Hi, sweetheart. I have the Zenit egg mount. I've got rat mounts, certainly. Not all of them, but most of them. Or at least the vendor ones. There aren't a lot of dragonflight mounts. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, because of the dragon riding mounts. Or at least that's my theory as to why they didn't add like a crazy amount of rat mounts, was because we have dragon riding mounts instead, and it seems silly to farm a bunch of mounts that we're not going to be on. I wonder what they're going to do about that, because they acknowledged in an interview that it's going to be, you know, there's got to be something to allow us to continue dragon riding after the expansion. We can't just all go back to the way things were now. Oh, here's a bunch. That would feel so bad. But they're conscious of not wanting to completely invalidate everybody's mount collections, you know? We have all of these years of history of collecting all these mounts, and I'd like to use them, but they can't just, or at least with any degree of visual fidelity, they can't just, you know, like slap the dragon riding mechanics in all of them, because you're going to end up with a situation where they just don't have enough animations to look good. I must not be paying enough attention to my dragon riding mount. I just kind of assumed it just wiggled its feathers a little bit, and then I got from point A to point B, but apparently they do a few different things. Okay, do you got something to say? You want to spit some knowledge? Drop some bars? I can't really back it up that far. Alright. You're okay. You're alright, honey bear. Can't use the mount that I got from ordering the collector's edition. Yeah, going back to non-dragonflight zones and flying on just old-fashioned flying mounts feels kind of quaint now. It's too early to call it nostalgic, but it feels, you know, it's old-fashioned. Once upon a time, you got onto your flying mount, you just kind of headed in a direction. There we go. Empty magma shell. All right. So now, I didn't get the thing to summon the rare, but that's, I suppose, a different issue. Now, we're going to go to 71,25. Is that correct? 71,25 to find an empowered snail. $71.25. Alright, I'm gonna head up there. I am going to need some help. Let me see here. Is Flabion? Whisper. Can you help with snail heals? Head on up there. I'm also gonna start a group. Will be a custom. Heal, Hazel. Please, and thank you. I think one person should be plenty, but I don't see any reason not to have any more if anyone wanted to be here. Pulling the streamer privilege like that. I know, right? Back when I was your age, we flew like we swam in the air. It's particularly enjoyable to me whenever, I really like it whenever, oh gosh, dragon tired. I would get in a flight form in Druid right as soon as I logged into the game and fly, but sometimes your model doesn't quite flip over. Sometimes you stay in your humanoid model while you're in flight form for a few seconds or a few minutes, depending on how badly you're lagging as a druid, and then you're just genuinely swimming through the air. I can heal with my warrior, surely. Oh, surely, of course. Band-aids. Trying to land on one of them narrow crags and waking shores to get an herb or an Orvin. That should get easier in 10:07 because we're going to be able to get a new dragon riding ability called Aerial Halt, and that basically just acts as brakes. It's like an air brake so that you can slow down in the air. It'll give you some vigor back, so you're not like totally out of vigor for it, but it should. Oh dear, oh dear. make it a lot easier to do some of those precision landings for like herbs or like the, you know, I've done the like a bunch of times is for Dragonflight Expedition banners, and there are more Dragonflight Expedition banners as well in 10.07, so that'll help. Arisoon, thank you for the 19-month resub. Hi Hazel, been loving your mount streams lately. Inspires me to keep at it. Glad to have you here. You guys definitely keep me motivated. I don't think I would have gone for the snail this week if it hadn't been for you guys mentioning it, but also seeing I was at, aw, sweetie girl, I was at Nalek and. All right, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Is it up? Does it need to be up? Channel it in the lava. Do I need to like realm hop? Hang on a second. Have I made a boo-boo? Points at the empowered snail. / target empowered snail. I have not made a boo-boo. Okay. I'm going to go for it. 2 cooldowns. Swimming. Or beginning. I did not get the lava swimming toy. I did not. I think I've given up on the dream. There we go. Nice. Thank you very... Oh, hang on a second. I'm stuck. There we go. The lava swimming toy, I believe, is the horn of lava swimming. Everlasting Horn of Lava Swimming. It's a random drop from the Siege of Dragonbane Keep rewards box. I do not have it. I have not been doing it. I need to find a nice place to go check this thing out. Easy. That's definitely like a 5-minute mount if you are willing to just buy the shell. And if you have somebody to heal you. Some classes don't need somebody to heal them, you know. You have enough defensives or self-heals or whatever. But you're channeling, so whatever you do to yourself to keep yourself alive in the lava for that long, you need to be able to do it before you go in. Like a paladin bubble, that kind of thing. Oh, hang on. Can't be on it in Drakthir form. I mean, I can, but I won't have it. There we go. I'm pretty sure Paladin can solo it. The Wowhead comment that I was getting all my coordinates from had a guide on how to solo it on Paladin. Or anybody with the Horn of Lava swimming. Hunter Turtle works great. Nice. You know what I want to look at, actually? I want to look at Simple Armory. I haven't checked Simple Armory out in a hot minute. Synonymous, thank you very much for the 5-month resub. Simple, because now that we're thinking about Dragonflight mounts, I'm wondering which ones do I not have? So here's what I'm looking at. Simplearmory.com, you pull up yourself. What's my name? I don't think the exact character matters, but here's me. Collectibles, mounts, and then it'll kind of break everything down by expansion and then show you gaps. So you can see the BFA dungeon mounts that we've been farming. Raid drop mounts from Legion. The 2 Hellfire Cores and the Abyss Worm we've been working on. just various gaps in the overall collection. We did pretty good out of Shadowlands, all things considered. Obviously, I'm missing a couple dungeon mounts that we can farm maybe next expansion. And then raid mounts, which again, gotta wait until we can solo that. I only got one of the 4 raid mounts, and that was the gimme. Well, it's not the gimme, it was the head of the curve mount, but you know. I think it was the AOTC mount, right? Carcinized Xerath Steed? I don't, yeah, quest. That was not a random drop. Glory of the, yeah, and those are the Glory achievement mounts. But everything else from Shadowlands, we cleaned up. And then Dragonflight, by comparison, has a much smaller amount. So I got both of the Traderotics. I have the Planeswalker Bearer. So there's the Skyskin Hornstrider. That's why we're doing Primal Fury Storms. And then that, honestly, I'm just going to get my Elemental Overflow in 1007 because it drops in massive quantities. Or you get it in massive quantities from daily quests and whatnot. So that's a later me problem. This is, I should probably keep doing a little bit of that whenever I see it. For that one, I just need to farm Dragonscale Expedition Scout Packs. Haven't dared check Simple Armor since the end of Shadowlands. I wasn't feeling ready for a while, but I feel like now I've got enough of this kind of together. Breeze Biter can bite me. Well, that's a later me problem. Divine Kiss of Inara we could potentially work on. I just got the Magma Shell, so that one will fill in once my armory updates. And then World Snail Shell. So those two, Onara and World Snail, seem like reasonable ones to work on. And then those two are Glory achievements. And then you're pretty close to done. Like I said, really not that many. There will be new ones, but not tons of them. So between World Snail and Divine Kiss of Onara, the thing that you got to do for the Kiss of Onara is I need 3 items from the from the Nuku Defensive. I knew there was a name for that dungeon. You get 3 items, 3 Stolen Breaths, an Incense which I can just craft, and then an Essence of Awakening that you get from the vendor. And then I have Lizzie's mount already. And then you, that's the gist of it. Once you've acquired all the items, you just go there and you get it. So the way I would farm that would be grinding Nuku Defensive, just slamming it over and over again. I don't think the difficulty matters. I think you could do normal, you could do heroic. I could queue up as healer and then try and do as much damage as I possibly can. Because I have one of them, and I think I need 2 more. You can see if Breeze Biter is there, he's just an elite. Yeah, but he's an elite that everybody seems to have a hard time finding up. I've killed Breeze Biter once. I've seen him 1 time. He just doesn't seem to be up very much. You can do it on normal. Is that how most of you guys have been farming that mount? Just kind of spamming normal Nakud? I know they changed it so you can now get the Divine Kiss item from, or the Divine Breath item from Mythic Plus, but they changed it after I was already all done with Mythic Plus. It's too busy biting breezes. More now that many have beat the mount out of him. I'm not familiar enough with the Final Fantasy token system for mounts. I don't think I have any on other characters. I don't think I would. I haven't done a lot of dungeons in other characters. So, what's the deal then? Let me read up. Let's pull up some articles and do some learning. Hang on a second. Find a nice new safe place to park. Seems reasonable. Let's do a little research. And by research, I mean Googling something on Wowhead. On the World Snail. The Scrappy World Snail. We need 1,000... We need 1,000 Magmotes, which are buying an account. And then you need a World Breaker membership. It's a 2-day buff, disappears if you die, lets you start looting Magmotes from mobs around the Citadel area. The key, the Restored Obsidian Key cache, has a chance to drop the World Breaker membership. Once you die, you can't buy any more memberships. Farm this all at once. If you die, you must get a new... Oh, maybe you can buy the first one? Let me go poke around at the vendor. Quite a grind. Did it while farming obsidian keys. I mean, it's a good time for me to be working on it, because I don't have any other WoW content goals lined up or anything like that. I'm not doing dungeons. I'm not even going to... I don't even think there is raid tonight, even if I wanted to go. And I'm not home tonight regardless. Kitty cat, you getting up? You had enough? Sign up for Worldbreaker 1, get free magma delivery for 3 months. Alright, so I want to go look at... There was a dude. There was definitely a dude. Sells you a membership card for 20 motes. After 20, you go back to them and buy the card as insurance. Oh, so I need to get it to drop the first time, and then I can buy one backup one, and then if I lose the backup one, then I have to farm it again? That's kind of ridiculous. Because I guess otherwise, how would you get the 20 mag modes? Meow. Because here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm looking at. Maybe this has changed, but the reason that I'm worried about that is because I'm reading this Wowhead comment that says that once you die, you cannot buy any more memberships. But you can buy backups. But if you forget to buy backups... I just need to get the first membership. I don't think we're gonna die. I mean, famous last words. Who sells them? I just want to look. I just want to go see who sells them. Iggy the Believer at 32,52. So I just want to poke around. 32,52. Like there. I don't think that I can buy one yet. I just want to go look at the vendor. Just don't die. A Drake tour and a cave. A Drake tour? I'm sorry, a Drake tour? Alright, let's see. Cave. Cave. Cave? Cave. Not the cave. Cave. Well, not you. No, not here. This is one thing. Oh, maybe that cave. This is one thing that I traditionally struggle with a little tiny bit in Dragonflight. Is, I'll confess, I am a terrible spelunker. It does not bode well for patch 10.1. There are entrances. I don't know where they are. I'm gonna check this one. Excuse me, have you seen my friend? No? Alright, well that's two nearby caves that are not the cave. Yeah, the target macro would work, or at least it would help. Because I've gone too far this way. One might assume. Cave? No? Okay. Different cave. There's a rare over here. At least this one I could probably find. There we go. Oh, he's flying though. How do I... He could give me boss drops that I need. This is the trouble with all the things, is it can make it quite difficult to, Do I have to just, like, pull him? Yeah. Oh, I wonder if he's, like, He's got, like, 7 million health. This could be potentially a mild problem. A moderate problem. I have some academic concerns. The Saberclaw, thank you very much for the 31-month resub. Appreciate it. Hi, Hazel and chat. Thanks for all you do. Best of luck to you and your mount farms. Thank you. Wanted to solo is a strong, I don't think I would say that. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get some luck. Looked at simple armor for my main, got 4 of the non-Dragonflight mounts since Dragonflight launched. It's tough, you know, it's busy. Things to do out here. I only really picked up mount farming again in the last couple of weeks after I'd kind of done everything I wanted to for the first season. I've gotten a handful of mounts, but 4 sounds about right. I think the mounts that I've gotten are generally just the world boss mounts. Oh well, Love Rocket. You can't forget the X45 Heartbreaker. Yeah, I imagine there's gonna be more of these coming along. Oh, I am excited to see what the first boss fights in Abros are that we see in raid testing. I'm just really curious as to what the vibe of the raid is like. Like I watched the press release and I looked at the screenshots and stuff, but I wanna, or concept art, I suppose. You know, I wanna play it. Testing starts today, this afternoon, 1 to 3. Today and Friday. Alright, Elemental Overflow. So no luck with that. I need to just park myself somewhere safe and then read for a minute. Because I think I have a misunderstanding and I'm feeling a little stupid and that's not helping. So I'm just gonna sit myself down and I'm just gonna read. Oh, you know what my trouble is? I've been /targeting Iggy because that's what's written in the text here, but the actual hot link is IGYS, which is not Iggy. His name is Igus. He's also nowhere close to my... Oh, no, he is. Yeah, that's who I wanted to just go look at. He's genuinely right underneath me. Alright. Hi. I just wanted to speak with you. Our progress is substantial. Okay. So, that's all I wanted. The other thing I wanted... So I can't interact with Vexel yet. Oh. Okay. Alright, so I need a restored obsidian key. No luck. Worth a shot. So I'm gonna see if anyone... I don't think anyone is gonna be farming keys anymore. I think everybody's over the key thing. So I can just kind of kill some stuff. Go find an area that looks promising and just fight some things. My advice is turn left. It's always left. Alright. There's no more caffeine. Anything left we're gonna have to do with wits and brains. Yeah, you're right. I haven't picked Rathian or Sibelian. I'm upset with both of them. I think they're both acting like children. I've gone too high. I've gone too far. Because I finished both of their rep grinds. So that part was no trouble. I don't want to give them a key. I've given them enough keys. Make them farm their own keys. Why did I finish their rep grind? There must have been something that I wanted, like a pet, I think. That sounds true. Got the Shaw of Anger mount. Congrats, Macy. That's fantastic. I think I genuinely had extra key fragments and framings and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that I deleted them. I thought, I'm done. I have my rep finished. There is nothing else I could possibly want from these keys. Delete. Make some bag space. Roll up to Indostra just as he dies. Yeah. That was happening to me yesterday, and I was just, whenever that would happen, I would just set a timer on my watch or my phone or whatever, and then log out of another character and do something else for like 12 minutes and then come back. It's like a 15-minute spawn, so you can... It's at least predictable. Okay. So Battlelord Pyrrhus spawned. Where? Oh, there. Oh, this guy. I get a mount from being maxed on rep with both? Is it the mount that I got? I think we got that one. I think it was the mammoth. That sounds like the thing that we did. Okay, so I have framing there, fragments there. So we're getting them. We just need more. Yeah, definitely nobody doing that anymore. Once upon a time there were. Yesterday, I was in a store that sells seeds for plants, and they had seeds for fruits and seeds for vegetables and seeds for flowers and seeds for grasses. And I love just standing in front of the wall of seeds, just being buffeted by the possibilities that lay before me. And then I think, what if we planted all of them? Seeds are just so fun because they're like generally less than $5 for a packet of seeds. Once upon a time it was even cheaper than that, but you know, times change. They're generally pretty cheap. You can get quite a few plants from any one seed packet, and there's just so many possibilities. I decided I was going to throw just an assortment of things in various planters that I have that are... Some of the stuff that I planted last year is perennial and is going to come back, and then some of the stuff is annual and it's going to come back anyways. It's not supposed to, but it's going to, and far be it from me to prevent life in my garden. But I had some gaps and I had some planters that needed some new denizens. And I thought, it's March. I don't think it's going to freeze again, knock on wood. I'm going to just try some stuff, because the one thing that I really love about my little balcony garden is that I don't really show it to anybody. Like, maybe some family will see it if they come over, but most of the time I visit them at their place, so... You know, it's just kind of for me, which means that I have full freedom to do it wrong and no one gets to say a word about it. So I put in different seeds in different planters, and we're gonna see what happens. All of them, mad woman. I think that eventually my growing is going to be limited by how much watering I can do. Not so much in the balcony. I can water everything on the balcony, but if I ever have actually like some land and some dirt to cultivate, unless I come up with some kind of an auto watering or irrigation system, which isn't unheard of, you know, people do that. But I'm going to be limited by how much watering I can stand to do during the summertime. So you have to start seeds indoors. This is strictly counter to my doing everything wrong policy. Some seeds you can start indoors, some seeds you can start outdoors. There's lots of different ways to do it, and also there's lots of rules that are meant to be broken. Snow in Denmark again this week. It's just across the border. Played Stardew Valley. Sprinklers are pretty early in the tech tree. They are. That is true. Sprinklers feel inefficient, though. I feel like I'm more... The idea of like the drip hoses, the drip lines is a little bit more appealing to me. But again, these are later me problems. I was raiding and I was like browsing articles on home ownership because for some reason I'm trying to like stress myself out of it. I don't know why. Reading about all the different things that sneak up on you and surprise you. Or that could sneak up on you and surprise you. Hopefully not all of them at once, because there's quite a few of them. But all of the different things that you are responsible for as like a home and a landowner, like, you know, like sewage lines and easements and, or just things to know about, I suppose. Different things that can be very expensive that can break, and different things that you can do yourself, and different things you should probably call a plumber for. And it didn't have anything to do with sprinklers. I've just thought of it again. Nature plants don't have it indoors for their seeds. There's a drought in Stardew Valley. You have to save water. Oh dear. Hypothetical fringe threats that could sneak up on you in my hypothetical property ownership. Precisely, yeah. You know, you plant a tree and you plant it too close. You didn't find out where the sewage lines or the gas main is, and the roots start interfering with stuff, and then you know. Things can happen. Or you've got a tree and it's on your property, but it's leaning over to your neighbor's property and you have to maintain it, but you're also not like, these things are probably not that complicated once you're actually living them. You like figure them out once and then you have your plan, and then your plan is fine. But there's certainly, are you guys just having lunch? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, there's a key framing over there. I got them on their lunch break. I don't even know what that's for. I want to see a wonderful movie, but the things that can sneak up on you when you buy a house, watch The Money Pit. I probably shouldn't. Reading these articles basically made me to come to the conclusion that the best possible thing to do is to live well beneath your means, and then also be rich, so that when things go horrifically wrong, you are not going to be ruined. Or, you know, they spike your property taxes by 7.1% in a year. That can happen, too. Tom Hanks movie from the 80s. Katie, you're back. Had a neighbor with a garden full of plum trees. Place was swarming with wasps. Ugh. Haircut. Haircut about 6 weeks old now, something like that. Got mine cut the other day, too. Yeah. I guess I redid it. Day before yesterday, something like that. All right, how are we doing? We have 2 keyframings. I thought I saw one on the ground, but I must have looted it. I guess must have is a strong word. I might have just walked past it. But yeah, I've heard all manner of nightmare stories about... Hey, there's one story I read, and I don't think that... I'm hoping this wouldn't apply to me, because I really do not want to end up with anything with a homeowners association or strata board to deal with. But it was somebody that had bought a townhouse that had an unlandscaped backyard. And when they bought it, they thought, oh neat, I can choose how I want to garden, and I can plant some things, and I can set it up the way I want it. But because it was a townhouse with a strata, the strata required them, before they could do anything with it, to submit a plan, like a certified plan from some expert or another that had to have like each and every plant, their location, and then they had to get board approval for it. They had to have multiple people. I don't know. It just sounded insane. And that's at least. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't rules that you have to obey if it's freehold land. There certainly there could be municipal bylaws and, you know, still regulations on what you're allowed to do with your grass and your plants and stuff. But at least you wouldn't have to submit your garden plan for board approval. That would be difficult for me. I'm not a big planner for gardening. I'm mostly a plant things and hope for the best kind of gardener. They need to approve. Yeah, that would make me insane. I would give up a lot for the freedom of not having to do that. So, I mean, townhouses are cheaper, but I don't think it's for me. Not if I can avoid it. Cut my hair once. It was nice. You know what I'm also getting while I'm farming this? I'm not even farming the magmotes yet. That's the funny part, is I had some idea that I was doing this to farm up the membership, but I don't even have the membership yet. I'm just trying to farm a key. Their neighbors mostly concerned with it not being disruptive. I think it's probably one of those things that varies wildly depending on what homeowners association it is and who's a member and what their requirements and the regulations are. I think some of them are probably not that big of a deal, and then some of them are probably asinine to the point of it just being unreasonable. And there's not a great way of figuring out before you buy a place which of those things it is, or it can change over time because they're beholden to the people that are managing them. But as somebody that does not like talking to people and certainly does not like arbitrary rules, I don't think it would be a good fit for me. I need another keyframing. I might not use the membership right away. I might get it, keep it safe for another time, and then go to Nighthold or something. Become president, dismantle it from the inside, make everybody do what you want. I suppose so. As long as my neighbors are far enough away from me, I'm not all that worried about what they're doing. I guess it depends on what it is they're doing. I just need it to not, you know, get wildly in my face. Duplex, technically strata, but not in practice. Didn't have to consult anyone in the garden. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. No, I don't like arbitrary rules when they're other people's ideas. Imposing arbitrary rules on yourself is, see, this is why it's a good thing that I haven't used a membership yet. Sometimes I do die. Get 20 to go buy another membership from the vendor. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Hi, sweetheart. We can't go back to bed today. I'm so sorry. I wish we could too. Maybe we can get a food buff, because my food buff's gonna last. Oh. Oh. Hi. How you doing? You sleepy? Yeah, I know. There you go. Hi, hello, hello. Considering going back to bed for a bit. Tired today? You, from the sounds of it, have had a very busy week. My trouble is that I technically am a bit busy. I've got a few things going on. And I'm kind of sort of treading water with them. But I feel like every day I'm falling like 5% more behind. And then every time I get like some time that I don't have to be doing something, I'm trying to like rest and reset so that I feel a little bit less overwhelmed when I do get back to doing stuff. But what's happening is that I'm not even getting very much rest because I'm continually overwhelmed. And then I'm still behind. So what I need to do, I think, is just suck it up and then go actively try to get caught up on some stuff, and then get caught up on some other stuff, and stop trying to take breaks before I'm finished because they're not even very good anyway. All right, I need another keyframing. That's what I need. Not necessarily a bad work strategy, yeah. 1.5 hour presentation to give tomorrow. A 90-minute presentation! That's a one woman full feature film. What was the rest of it? And a full day of in-person stuff afterwards. Fun, but a lot of work for the introvert. I bet. Need a couple of quiet days after that. Necessarily bad strategy. I'm just coping with the fact that I gotta be the grown-up. I need an adult, but I am, you know, I also don't want anybody else to be able to tell me what to do, and the flip side of that is if you want the freedom, the responsibility of being an adult, or, you know, you just have the fortune to have gotten older, you do have to, you know, take care of yourself and things. And sometimes it just feels like too much, but you don't really get to decide that it's too much. You kind of got to do it anyway. I think I've just gotten too comfy. I've gotten kind of lazy. I've let my comfort zone swallow me up a little bit to the point that it's enveloping and it's hard to get out of. No, still need another framing. Sometimes you can just get lucky and find them on the ground. I found one of them on the ground. Sometimes you get lucky and you stash them in your bank. You can find them especially when you murder 3 guys in their lunch break. I think that maybe I should go into the lower cave and see if I can find any down there. Oh, there we go. We got one. All right. So we have a key. They want me to give it to Sibelian, and I don't want to do that. I want to go see if this guy will take it. Because that took me a reasonable amount of time plus 1 good death to farm. What I think I might do is I may... whatchamacallit? Oh, I can't even... Oh, maybe I do need to turn one in before I can do another one. Holy moly, that's a lot then. Oh... What if I just hold on to this key? I was thinking of swapping to a Versa file. And I have a food buff and I have a weapon rune. Yeah, you're right. You make the greater key first. So then you have to... Oh, Slurpo, the incredible snail. Where's Slurpo? Slurpo where? Slurpo... I don't know where Slurpo is. Oh, man, I was afraid of that. I dropped an earbud and I didn't want to lean down and get it because I thought the kitty was going to get up, and she did. Can never find Slurpo. Throw a giant crystal at a bunch of snails and Slurpo shows up. He's in a cave, right? How long ago was the haircut? I'm actually kind of curious. I want to look this up. I posted well, there was this. I streamed a couple days after I did it. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. So I had it already. No, I had short hair in January. Was it end of January that I did this? Let me see. Yeah, January 25th was my first stream with the short hair. And it is now March the 15th, so there was 1 week, 2 week, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 weeks ago. Captain Lancer. Oh, Captain Lancer I know how to get to. I don't know why. He just keeps dropping me a polearm that I don't need, but... Nah, not a health thing. Just for comfy. Look at me remembering things. Slurper requires spelunking. I'm outlawing caves. This is going to be an issue for patch 10.1, but I've decided that that caves are poorly ventilated. They are prone to unsafe collapse. There could be spiders, and I've had enough. No more. 10.1 coming soon. 10.0.7 is coming on the 21st. 10.1 is sometime after that, but not soon. We got some time. Caves are devoid of other people. But if it turns out the cave is not devoid of other people, that's like far worse than finding those people if they're not in a cave. Coming across somebody in a cave that you didn't expect to come across, and they didn't expect you to come across them, is dramatically worse than just seeing somebody on the street. I can't decide if I want to just give up and go to Nighthold, or if I want to try and brute force through this key thing. I don't know. I'm 3 of 4 on the Mythic Nighthold skip. This could technically be my last week of full clearing it, although I think I want to continue full clearing it just for Mog's sake. I need mounts from Nighthold. I need Mog as well, but I need mounts primarily. Tried Rest of Sham with mouse over. It was a blast. First fun steps as a healer. Oh, that's awesome. The Dragon House HOA is going to overrule me on that. Alright, take the key. Relics and stuff, and then I need another key. Oh dear. Well, I have, this is before you even get into the moat farming. Wakora tells you when the next one comes up. Yeah, I've heard of that. It seems like a really good tool. Zero's Dragonflight 30-minute rare spawn timer. Oh, you know what I need to do actually today on stream? Here, why don't we do this now? I'm gonna take a break from this because I'm feeling a little citadeled out for the moment. I need to, hang on a second. I need to set up my PTR character for raid testing. I haven't done it. I was gonna do it yesterday and then I didn't do it. So I need to just log on. I was thinking I can do that on stream. I can log on and do that now so that I am not scrambling last minute trying to get into a group and also like get my character all set up, because I had some concerns that it might I had some concerns anyway. Okay, let's be on Benedictus. That seems fine. So this is 10.1 PTR. do they don't have pre-mades, so if I want to copy, I want to raid test on Evoker, but I don't think they're gonna let me. Every time, maybe they will. Oh, they did. Oh, perfect. Okay. The 1007 PTR would not let me character copy an Evoker, so I was worried that that would be the case for this one, but it seems okay. Now the question is, did I mean that? Do I really want to raid test as Evoker? I think I do. So she at least has her gear. I'm gonna put her in. Oh no, I need her to be Horde. So here, let's. I need her to be Horde. Sometimes you can kind of proc a faction change. Sometimes you can kind of proc a faction change on PTR by just like you make the character. If there's a better way to do this, I don't know it. The reason I wanted to be Horde is because... No, that's just a recustomization. A lot of raid testing groups are Horde, and while yes, you can cross-faction join them, it's inconsistent, and I want the fewest possible complications for the sake of raid testing. So I'm just going to do this a few times and see if it wants to... No. I play Alliance. No, I'm not streaming raid testing. Add-on mentioned macro mouse over? Macro mouse over is not an add-on. It's just mouse over macros. And you can even do it without macros. You can just enable mouse over casting in your settings. Because the other thing I could do... Yeah, there's the faction transfers. So just as a just in case. Okay, so there's a character. Worst case scenario, I can use that one. Because priest testing lets me have a bit of more range anyways. Also, it's very quiet over here. I guess I can have some game music. Oh, not that much. Okay, there we go. So I can faction change the Evoker to Horde. Complete that. Okay, so put that down in the list. I'm gonna set up both of them just in case something goes wrong with one of them. I don't think it should, but better safe than sorry. Make a character your Evoker's name and then copy her? I'm raid testing later today, but not right now. I should have edit mode for my UI. Yeah, more or less. There we go. What do I usually use that bar for? Oh, okay. Action bar 6. I want it to be kind of like... Open action bar settings. Because they don't need that many keybinds for raid testing. I'm probably... These bars look kind of small. Let's do a minimum size chat frame. And I'm going to scoot the action bars a little bit. Can I do this actually? Hang on a second. Yeah, you can stream PTR. It's public. Anybody can play it. There's no restrictions on making content from it. I wanted to see. I had a note file that had my UI, and I wanted to see if I could import it. Hazel's UI import text. Let me see. Okay, that's better. That's the way I have it on live, so that should be fine. She could probably stand to have her bars cleaned up a ton, because this is just raid testing, so she doesn't need to have, oh, she needs her keybinds fixed up also. You know what I should do, actually, is if we log out for a second, and then we copy key bindings from my live account, that should fix that. I'm gonna do it with no add-ons, but thankfully raid testing with no add-ons is a ton comfier than it used to be. It's my UI is wildly more playable than it used to be without add-ons. I still kind of hate default nameplates, but I can live with them. All right, we don't need puppy crate. I just want like a. Oh yeah, I've got my talents and everything from the character copy. I'll just take a single target raid spec just in case people need me to damage, and then kind of clean it up as best as I can. We've got some potions to use. I don't think I'm spec'd into that. Don't need that. Don't need that. No fishing. None of that. More or less okay. Especially because if I do end up DPSing, I would want my bars to be nice and clean-ish. So we don't need. I don't need all these like profession links and stuff. Mounts are fine. Issue reporter can go in the side. Is that really how I have my target? Oh yeah. Let's fix this a tiny bit. I know that they've kind of redone some things with edit mode. I don't know what exactly they've redone, but frames seem kind of small, but I think that's okay. Cast bar I would like to have it be a little larger. I think I play with a pretty large cast bar to begin with. Here, we'll slap it right in dead center. Okay. What else do I want to do? So that's my damage spec. Let's swap healing, clean that one up, and then I will poke around and see if there's any gear that I need to get for this character. I can save her a gear set and a damage set. Why do I only have 396 item level? That doesn't seem right. Oh, it's because I'm wearing the puppy crate. So, Incarnate Icon and Alchemist Stone are kind of like my default. Let me new set. We're gonna call this. Well, here we might actually be able to get some trinkets for healing. I'm just gonna say because I have season. Well, we might be able to get season 2 too. Let me see. I can get free trinkets. For testing, I'm not usually worried about testing, oh dear, this is upsetting. For testing, usually I don't want class set tester. Excuse me. Oh, well, he doesn't seem interested in giving me class sets to test. I'm not worried about like fixing like gear or class testing or anything. I just want to see the raid fights. And then this is the spec that I've been doing a lot of raid healing in, is something that lets me. It should have stasis. I think I don't have an action bar shown. Why isn't there? Should be another one. My shift bar is gone. I lost an action bar. I need, oh dear. This is why we're doing this now. Action bar. It should have had buttons on it still, but oh well. Generally, I will make it a little bit smaller. I'll take it down to like 80 or 90% to make it make sense to me that it's a shift bar. Amy Yui, thank you for the brandy sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Retrace my steps and maybe I'll find the action bar. News to me. Oh, that step. Save and switch. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, yeah, so that's better because then I've got stasis, I've got Breedkeeper's Promise. I don't know where the heck it was in the last thing, but we've got, we can those. It's just raid testing. I'm not going to use focused regen. I do have stasis, that's good. Sure. even without any add-ons, you can still get Luairs. Oh, it was supposed to be a joke. Oh, I mean, it was a good piece of advice. All right. I don't really want to do testing with these trinkets. Are these new trinkets? I want basically passives, like no on use. Oh no, these are like dungeon trinkets and stuff. I suppose they're fine. These are at least passives. I don't need to worry about them too much. So there is a class set tester NPC, but they do not appear to have any class sets for me to test. I should be able to set myself up. I should be able to just heal and DPS as needed. I'm Horde, so I should be able to join a group later. Here, let's get this Trader's Post quest out of my log. Think if there's anything else that I need to do before later. For raid testing. Maybe I should look at my graphics. This looks different. I feel like they've put a new box in there. Yeah, because I turn, especially for testing, I turn some of the, not everything down. Just to make sure that we get nice smooth footage. Yeah, we're gonna cap this at 60. Turn that off. Do that at 60. Okay. Undasta did not drop them out this week. I just needed to, I ran out of characters. We did them all yesterday. Hate having to reconfigure my UI. Yeah, it's nice that, it's nice. Oh, this is awful. The bag's being totally lit up. Okay, that should be good. The one thing that's really nice is that I can just have a text file saved to my desktop. And, I can just have a text file saved to my desktop that, whatchamacallit, it seems to be compatible even across different versions of the game. Early in Dragonflight beta, you would save like a UI export and then you would try to import it later and the versions would be incompatible, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Only a few class sets available. All right, well, that's okay. As long as we can get into something and see some mechanics, that's all I'm looking for. All right, that's one job done for the day. It is 10:26. Cat's wandered back in. I'm gonna stand up and stretch for a few minutes. When I come back, maybe some nice Nighthold. I know how to run Nighthold. I can handle that. I am muted. I thought I fixed that earlier. I did not. If I farm a second key, because if I don't do it now, then I may not do it for the rest of the week. If I farm another key and turn it into the one guy and get the membership, can I hold on to that and save that for later? Is there a a getting out point there? Nah, I was definitely muted. I'm having some issues. Howdy squad, hello. How you doing? How are things? You know what I learned yesterday that I didn't know before? Won't drop pretty frequently once you have the membership. I think you can. Been a hot minute since I did it. Okay. Did this start early? Stream? North America, or at least my part of North America, had our time changed pretty recently. So stream might seem an hour earlier than it used to be if you are not sharing our same time zone. You can hold on to the membership, still have one with me in my bags. Okay. Because I don't really want to commit to the whole 9 yards. I feel like farming the keys is never in any of the stuff that I've read. Farming the keys was not supposed to be the hard part. And I know that, you know, once upon a time there was more frequently key farming groups so that you could farm them amongst many other people. Yeah, almost daylight savings. Yeah, I'm right there with you. My wall clocks will be much happier if I can leave them alone. Oh, I have 2 keyframings already. You know what? We're not so far. We're not so far from another key. I just think there's no way I can possibly... you know, do the magmote thing properly. Huge in the first 2 weeks because of the cloak from rep. Jeff, I think you've got a losing battle with that one. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm saying it's one of those things. Yeah, supposedly BC passed whatever rules we need to get rid of it, and so did Oregon, and so did Washington, but we're all kind of waiting on California because we all want to do it together because we want all 4 of us, or perhaps more, but at least those 4 to be on the same time because it'll be weird if we're not, I suppose. So we're just waiting, and then supposedly California agreed, but you know, I've heard this many times in my life. I'm gonna keep in the S and hope that daylight saving is offended because it's terrible. Weekly group still fills pretty quickly. Yeah, maybe my trouble is that I'm not trying to do this on like a Tuesday. Today is Thursday. Tuesday's over. Tuesday's gone. Where are those guys in their lunch break? They were over here. They had some keys. Yeah. You guys. Are they on their lunch break? Yeah, look at it. They've got their soups. They got their little boat. I guess they're skull hullers, so those are pots of skulls, but there's nothing to say that that's not for lunch. I don't know if Rick Mars exactly 15 minutes. Maybe somebody from chat does. I know Undasta is. I should use my cooldowns a little bit more often. I do prefer this particular version of time that we're on now, though, because it's got more light later in the day. And I guess I just don't get up that early, so I don't mind if it's dark in the morning because I'm asleep in the morning. Quite selfishly, but it bums me out when it's getting dark outside at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Days are getting a little longer now. It's March, it's not December anymore, so it's not so bad, but... Cooldown's heresy. What if you need it later? You could. Might. I did manage to die earlier just doing this. I decided that I'm gonna reset my indoor hydroponics growing unit and do a batch of like kind of choose your own seeds next. I want to do 1 tomato plant and I want to do like a cilantro and a basil and then like 1 lettuce, and I think that should do it because the tomato one apparently needs a little bit of room on inside of the thing. Slim Shady AFK, thank you for the 38-month reset. Very much appreciated. How's your day been going so far? How's Kitty Cat? Kitty's good. My day's going okay so far. I've got one of those semi-big days where I've just got a few different things on my list of things to do, and sometimes that works out well. You know, it keeps you busy enough that you don't have time to get all stressed out and existential. And then sometimes you just think, wow, there's no way this is gonna all work out, but I think it should. It just might be a late night. We'll have to see. I'd prefer if it wasn't, but we'll figure it out. I'm young. I can handle a couple late nights. Tomatoes? Cherry tomatoes. You're supposed to grow, and I'm not 100% sure if this is what I got, because I didn't realize, I wasn't thinking straight. I was kind of overwhelmed in the store. But you're supposed to grow, if you're going to grow tomatoes in the hydroponic thing, determinate, not indeterminate, determinate varieties, so they only grow so big, of like cherry tomatoes, so that the plant can actually like produce fruit while being physically small enough to fit under the lamp, is I think the general idea. So I got a packet of seeds because it was kind of a pick your own seeds thing. They do sell a tomato seed pack, but then you get 6 pods that are just tomatoes, and like I said, I wanted to mix and match. So I bought some tomato seeds. I forget if they're heirloom, which I want to say, well, no, that doesn't necessarily mean indeterminate. I'll have to look at the package. I'm just gonna try it, I think. I'm just gonna hope for the best. Make some mistakes. Yes. Can I help you? Thoughts on canning the tomatoes? I don't want to. I don't know how many it would be. I've never grown them indoors in a hydroponic setup like this. And it's kind of like a little hobby toy version. It's the easy bake oven of indoor gardening. So I don't imagine I'm going to get a wild amount of them. It sort of seems like it's going to be more for just like, here, slice up this 1 tomato and put it on a sandwich. Grow them in a big planter, works well, needs sun. Yeah. You coming back up? I just need 1 more keyframing, and then I will have another key to turn in. Right. Went on vacation for 2 weeks, came home to bolted broccoli, cauliflower, birds chewed my strawberries. Well, that sucks. I mean, the birds had a yummy time of it, I bet. I saw a crow with a whole tuna can yesterday. It was, oh no, that's Bone Sheep or Jardeck. We don't need him. It was going through somebody's recycling, and I suppose they didn't clean it thoroughly enough. And this crow had picked up this entire thing, and he looked like he was going somewhere with it. Crow living large. I haven't started farming magmos. I had some notions of doing that. I was getting there, but I was losing steam too. I don't know if we'll make it all the way there. I love watching crows. They're so fun to just like observe. Tuna's tuna. So we're doing okay in fragments. I need 1 more framing. Sometimes I see people fighting them down here, And I think, oh cool, there's other players. I'm gonna come help. And then I realize, after I've done that, they're just NPCs. Elemental guys dropped 12 packs, took 3 hours to get 1,000 emotes. Okay. I think what I want to do is I want to set myself up with a membership, and then maybe like, so that I can, and then maybe get some emotes for a backup membership, but set myself up with a membership that I haven't used yet, so that on a weekend stream, on a Saturday or a Sunday when I have 3 hours to stream, we can just kind of commit. Puppies are bis? Relative to what? Crows are comfortable enough with me, they'll get it within a couple feet of me. Except snack offerings. I do enjoy puppies. They're just big dogs. Nice. Watching my stream is really the long haul, where one day, if you keep watching for enough years, eventually there'll be a dog involved. Yeah, I like the songbirds too. One of the dreams is with the backyard is to have a bird feeder that's like kind of within range of a window that you can see it pretty clearly. Because I see songbirds outside, but it's hard sometimes to tell what they are if they're not close enough. And if it was a bird feeder that I could see from a window, then I could like break out the binoculars and be able to ID them more often. Character window there, $3.95. I am wearing the puppy crate. Speaking of puppies, that's an excellent point. Why is anybody's guess? Because have I been wearing that since Viscidus? There's no way. There's no way I've been wearing that since Viscidus. I raided last night. I was like swapping trinkets around too because I was going back and forth between DPSing and healing. Why on earth? Oh well, maybe because it's keybound. That's funny. Here, let's throw a chill globe on. Yeah, there is a way. Oh boy, maybe that's why this farming's been going so slow. I didn't have my trinket on. Would also never be productive ever again. We have a lot of local hummingbirds that you'll hear sometimes if you're out on walks, and like after a while you kind of get to know which trees they like to hang out in. And I enjoy you can hear them flying and kind of zooming around your head while you're out there, and they sound like little I don't know exactly how to, there's something that they remind me of and I can't think of it right now, but every now and then they'll squabble with each other, which is very cute because they're like this big. They sound like hornets. Wow, they're still coming to the feeder. My feeder actually fell off my window recently, so there's the keyframing. So I need to reset it. I took it inside and I cleaned it. I need to make another batch. It's just one of those things that's on the list. My list is beating me to death a little bit. Not because it's an unreasonable list, but because I feel uniquely unequipped to deal with anything, let alone standard everyday responsibilities. All right, so we're gonna get another key. We're taking our restored key. We're taking it over to, Iggy is over here. And then we get a membership. So the membership is in the bags now. It is bind and pick up. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't have a limited duration. We're gonna keep that nice and safe. Don't vendor it. We're gonna keep it. What is that yellow check mark? Can I log it update? They have different icons now? Hoarding one of these in my main as well. It is unique. Okay. That is true. That's fine. It's allowed. How many mounts am I up to? Somewhere in the 700 range. How do you guys get your exact mount count? Like when, like, when you want to know, how many mounts do I have? What do you check? Because my mount journal just says 769. But is that usable? Is that total? Is that usable in a specific character? You look at total. I just want to know which number people want when they're asking me. So that number would be, I guess, 769. I use Mount Journal Enhanced also. I just don't know, because this feels like cheating. Because of course I can't use all those mounts in one character. And if I wanted to inflate that number, then what I should do is I should play Horde. Oh, I have 3 mag mounts somehow. I guess from that, I got those from that thing. If I wanted to inflate that number, I could play Horde and get a bunch of easy Horde mounts that I don't have. No plans to play Diablo 4, no. 769. All right. Well, I have 769 mounts. Let's do some night hold, eh? Cleaning up my bags just a tiny bit before we go. See what we can get rid of here. Oh, can I do... Oh, the thing is up. I need to go do... Oh, there's only 12 minutes left on it. I was going to say I need to do Storm's Fury. I can't finish that in 12 minutes. Darn it, I should have done that earlier today. I need to remember to do it at least once this week. You get like some bonus for doing it the first time. Yeah, class mounts would also inflate that number, but they just feel silly to farm on me because I can't use them. Although, I guess the point of mounts is not always to use them. Sometimes the point of mounts is just to have more. The sooner I accept that, the happier I'll be, I'm sure. What else can I get rid of here? What are these? Boots? Gross. I have some spec knowledge we can learn. A bouquet of pheasants have started living near a house and our dog is not happy. I don't think I knew that a group of pheasants is called a bouquet, but I'm greatly pleased that that's the case. That's excellent. If I need all this for any particular thing. I'm not really making or selling anything right now. I guess I get a... Doesn't matter. Alright. Close enough? Doing a little better? Scale watch key. Alright, if I want to go to do Nighthold, I'm gonna take my dungeon portal there, because I have one. Heroes Path, Grand Magistrix. Gets me kind of close. Yeah, there's some kind of Diablo 4 mount for WoW. I've decided over the last number of years that if I have no plans in playing a game, I won't buy it just for a WoW mount. At that point, it's just like a $90 shop mount, and that's just too much money. I haven't even, I don't even recruit myself for Recruiter Friend to get the mounts from that, and there's like, you know, other cosmetics available there also. But I won't do that either because it's just too expensive. WoW mounts are not, like, they're great, and it's something to do, but my favorite ones are never the ones that I just spent money on. My favorite ones are usually the ones that I have, like, nice memories of farming, so I don't think I'm really going to treasure the memory of dropping $90 to buy a game I'm not going to play so I can get a WoW thing. It just doesn't seem right. That money could be spent on tomato seeds. You know how many tomato plants you could grow from $90 worth of seeds? A lot. You would, I mean, the seeds are not the bottleneck in that equation, but if you pretend that they were, it's a lot. No, I'm not really willing to convert WoW Gold to balance. I see what you're saying. I agree that there is an argument to be made for that. At that point, though, it's still probably like, what does the math check out to be? WoW tokens are... How much is an NA WoW token right now? WoW token. NA WoW token is 208k, and that gets you 25 Canadian dollars. So you would need like 800 to a mil. 840 maybe K for the thing. Or pheasants are flush, otherwise it's a nigh or a bevy. This is vultures all over again. It's like they couldn't just pick a thing. You know how sometimes you have a lot of ideas, and what you should do is pick your best idea, but what you do instead is do all of your ideas. Feels like the bird naming people ended up doing that. Raid difficulty mythic. This is Nighthold. Yeah, this is Nighthold. Yeah, I'm just doing Legion. We did the new vault thing. New vault? Is there a new vault thing? A gaze of raccoons. A gaze of raccoons. Listen, I have seen packs of raccoons running around. Gaze is a bit of a passive verb for what it is that they're up to. Even if they're all stationary and looking at something, they are still doing so with a level of tension and stored energy that the word gaze does not accurately imply. If you've got a pack of raccoons and they're all looking at something, they are considering. They're going somewhere. They're not going to stay still for long. Raccoons surprisingly massive. They're big, yeah. Every time I see one from a distance, my first thought is that's a huge cat, and then my second thought is that's not a cat. I did buy the Mad Merchant map, but that's because it didn't involve me converting WoW to money. It was because of the it's in the game on a vendor. Hey, I got a piece of mog from that. I needed that chest piece. I don't know why that makes the difference. I think maybe because the price is consistent and it's determined by Blizzard and it's not determined by... I mean, I guess you could argue the token price is determined by Blizzard. I'm not having fun anymore. Hope we don't get raccoons. They're a pest down in Germany. A group of flamingos is a flamboyance. Stop the collective nouns now. Sometimes there's animals you just don't see in groups very often. I was gonna ask what herons are when they group up, but... Oh, they're opening the door for me, that's good. You know, I only really ever see just the one of them. They must encounter each other every now and then. That has to be a thing. So today's Thursday. I can do the Magmote thing Saturday, I think. That should work. Get another snail. We got the magma shell today, at least. Dude, what's that? Literally what I was googling. What a group of herons is called. Do you have an answer? I haven't looked it up. It was just occurred to me. Don't have herrings. A heron. H-E-R-O-N. It's another birdie. I want to say herrings would just be a school, but maybe I'm being too simple. All fish are just schools. I'd say except for jellyfish, which are apparently a smack, but you could argue that they're not fish at all, and that's why they're now called sea jellies. A siege? Is it really a siege? We have a lot of robins around here in the area. They must do really well off of some, like we have these trees that make these berries, or there's just like a lot of worms or something, because they're just, you'll see just hundreds of them on a given walk. They're big too. No luck there. There's an illusion, a weapon illusion that can drop there that's like a really low chance, but it's a chance. And then Alluriel and Crosus are kind of the two remaining things that would make me farm the whole place as opposed to the skip, because we're going to unlock access to the mythic skip on this character today. Although I will say we've gotten a lot faster at clearing Nighthold than we were a few weeks ago. Flock of Nightingales is a watch. Parliament for a Group of Owls was coined by C.S. Lewis in the Chronicles of Narnia. Having fun. Oh, never apologize for having fun. Oh no, I used my staff! He tricked me again. You'd think I'd be over this by now. Sometimes I think that the mini boss is the real boss, and then it's not. It's definitely not. That's okay. We do enough damage. A mustering of storks. Do we have storks in North America? My logic is that I've never seen a stork. I've seen storks depicted in English nursery books about them bringing children to their parents. And that's the only time I've ever seen storks be referenced is in that context. And it always seemed like a very, I don't know, British origin thing, which made me think that maybe storks are from Europe. How else would kids get here? That cake trinket, I miss it. Maybe in North America you get the great blue heron to bring you babies, but if that was the case, I would be a little bit more cautious whenever I saw one outside. It's like, yeah, it's a wonderful nature walk, and this is very relaxing and all, but what if it has children? Bald eagles. Yeah, if the bald eagle has has a child here, I wouldn't expect to get it in one piece. One in front of the house, more East than West European? Okay. More diverse and common in the tropics. I imagine if I was going to, and this isn't something I'm going to do in the near future, but if I was somebody that was going to do an annual spring cleaning, where you like, you know, clean the insides of your light fixtures and degrease your stovetops and, oh, I might sneeze, pardon me. This would be the season to do it. It is spring. No good reason not to. Oh, I got some boots. I guess the good reason not to is tired. Just level my Drakthir to 70. I'm awful. How do? Oh, how to Drakthir? You might be requesting aid from the wrong person for that one. I read the Wowhead guide, and then I hoped for the best. And then every now and then I would reread the Wowhead guide, and I'd go, oh yeah, that's right. I have invented nothing. I just try my best to follow the recommendations that... I think Preheat writes most of them for... Oh, that's locked. What do you mean locked? Because of you. Because of that character. Less locked. Very good. I'm okay about... I do like surface level cleaning pretty often. I do weekly or twice weekly, just like cleaning around the basics. But things like... I haven't wiped my baseboards in a long time. What else would I do in a deep cleaning? Like moving furniture to clean underneath it is a good one. Especially with like a cat, you're gonna get dust bunnies in all kinds of places. You get like the spider webs that are like way up high. Dust in like the bottom of cabinets and drawers and stuff like that. Not dust, but like, you know, you take all your silverware out of your cutlery tray and you like clean the bottom of that kind of thing. I could probably stand to do some of that. Run more around the equator. Big nesting population migrate during the winter. Oh. Might be worth it to kill Spellblade in different locations. That achievement takes a few weeks. I would imagine I have not got the achievement. Is there even... There must be a glory achievement. Legion raid achievements for the Grove Defiler. That's Emerald Nightmare. How do you get afflicted with arcane exposure? Change of scenery? Oh, okay. I'm gonna look that one up. Because I've already killed a L'Oreal, so that's kind of a lost cause, but just for today. Oh, requires a minimum of 10 people. Achievement still not soloable. Okay, never mind. moving right along. Glory achievements are something that I definitely have huge gaps in my collection of. And I think part of, like, yeah, they offer mounts, but part of it is that I don't really like doing glory achievements. I don't, like, I do them sometimes, but usually when I'm finished, it's mostly relief that it's over. It's one of those journeys that is about the destination for me, which might be why I don't do them very often. Pain in old raids. I don't even really end up doing the much in new raids. The best possible scenario is that you have a current raid that you've got on farm comfortably, and you're with a small group of players that all wants the achievements and they're all familiar with exactly how it's going to work. And then everybody's patient, willing to learn the whole thing. And I don't even know if I'm patient and willing to learn the whole thing. Like, some of them are easy, but a lot of them aren't. And that doesn't mean that it's not worth doing. It just means that I'm not having, I don't know. I don't know what I want from them. I guess it's just not my cup of tea. Yeah, let's go do Croesus. Croesus could still give me a helmet. I have been looting my mail after I fight him each week, because generally I end up getting stuck in combat. Probably because I'm not killing something out here. I'm just aggroing things that I'm not killing. Maybe I'm going to try and just wend my way through here and kill some extra trash. Croesus one is easy? What do I have to do? Quenching 15 burning embers. How do I quench a burning ember? Both Glory Chiefs and the boss kill for Nathri yesterday. Tried to do them both at the same time, did 2 runs. Well, very, very nice. There's definitely some neat stuff you get for doing them. I don't even think I knew that I didn't have the Grove Defiler. I think I get it mixed up with the other moose. There was like the Friendship Moose, which I did have, and then there was the there's a few of them. Don't burn Croesus, let him spawn little elementals and just kill 15 of them? Or do I have to, does quench mean something different than kill? Guild is called the Grove Defiler, the disappointed dad mount. Why? Oh, his face looks like a disappointed dad. I need to see this. I don't know, man. It looks like a moose to me. You see it? Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's disappointed in its moose children. Never got that mount. Got the Archimon moose and the Ghost moose. My guild's insane and Canadian. I'm lost. I've gotten turned around. I live here now. I don't want to jump from that balcony. It's a trap. It's a trick. It's not true. Yeah, trash for Bewees, that's right. Yeah, the high mountain moose is gorgeous. I'm just happy we have so many moose. I like this one. It's the Island Expedition moose. It's nice and straightforward. It's got like a comfy blankie. Nice kind of handmade looking leather saddle. Sister Coyote, thank you very much for the 5-month resub. Hello, are you looking forward to next Tuesday? I am looking forward to next Tuesday. We got a big patch. What do I want to do most in the Forbidden Reach? Like, I'm excited about it being some easy gear for alts. What else do I want from it? Extra easy elemental overflow. I can get caught up on the Salamanther and the other Primal Storm stuff. Excited about Trial of Style? Yeah. That might be more exciting. There's more Mog I need from Trial of Style for sure. Want to try the vault things? Yeah, they were pretty fun. I did a fair amount of them on PTR. And by a fair amount, I just mean 2 weeks worth. But I did 2 weeks worth of it on PTR. And it's neat. It's hard to explain in a way that makes it sound understandable, but it's fun. It's not a puzzle in the like mini game puzzle kind of sense. It's not like doing the tailoring treasure or anything like that. It's a bit more, you know, you find a thing and then you think it might be good for something somewhere else. Oscar, thank you for the 30-month resub. Tuesday is Corn Stomp? Comp Stomp. When's Corn Stomp? I don't feel like we spent enough time talking about the fact that corn is grass. Does that make it grain and not vegetable? 15 ads. Corn is great. Oh. I'm not convinced I'm gonna do this. Because he's gonna... break the bridge. So far I see no ads. Corn is also delicious, more importantly. I haven't had fresh corn, like, out of a garden, you know, since I was like a little kid, but I remember it being the best thing ever. Many ads will spawn. Oh, okay. And... have I done 15 yet? Does it have to be specifically 15? Because this is still red. Do I need to wait for another pack of them? I didn't count. I wasn't counting. I guess we have a little bit more time. Takes a few packs? Okay. But I don't need to do anything fancier than that. I don't need to, like, go slurp up some water from the side with a straw and then just, like, spit it out. For good luck and fire quenching. Well, if I kill all these ones, and it doesn't... go red, I'm just gonna finish it. Because this must have been at least 15 embers. We've done so many of them. There's no way that was less than 15. So maybe I just need to defeat him now. They need to be dunked in the water? Oh. Alright, well never mind. We'll do it some other time. Can I have some loot? Hey, at least I can loot it this time, and I got the helmet I needed, so that's one less thing that I need from reclairs. Not in combat, that's something. There. Maybe today is a mount day. Could be. I think I'm gonna try for this mount, and then I'm gonna wrap up after this for the day. Raid testing is not until 1, but I've got a couple things I could probably stand to square away between now and then. Corn is sus. What, you think it's up to something? Wrong way. Try and get the heroic mount, since I have the mythic one, don't know if I want to bother. If you have any interest in transmog collecting, the nice thing about getting the mythic mount first is that you can farm the other mount on normal or heroic. So if you need transmog recolors from other difficulties that you didn't get while you were farming the mythic mount, you can then work on them while also trying to get the green mount. I have 18 of 25 of the mythic appearances, but almost no heroic mug. Absolutely no LFR mug at all, though I don't know that LFR can even drop the thing. I don't think it can. Upgrade gear from one track to another. I mean, I suppose that does solve, if they do that, that would solve one of the issues that people have with it, but it would also exacerbate another issue that people have with the system, which is that it's got a lot of different pieces to it. Complicated, you know. If you have to get a mystical whoozy whatsy from the magical bird of Crocodile-Doo, then you're, it's just one more thing to worry about. No, this character needs one more Ellison kill, I think, for the skip quest. It's a Demon Hunter only toy. I don't know if I knew about that. This is so much faster than it was in Shadowlands to farm. You could do it before, but it took some doing. I wonder if they did that, if they would ever just scrap the different tracks and then just have it all be one. Like, you just get a piece of gear. It is somewhere along an overall upgrade path. Because you need the crests to upgrade it past a certain level anyways. So you're not going to have somebody that just gets a piece from a world quest and then can make it via world questing mythic raid gear. You would at a certain point need to have crests from higher level content. So I wonder what would be lost if they gave up on all of the different, like, upgrade tracks and just had like one big one, if that would be too overwhelming to look at, or if it would be simpler than having the 4 or 5 different tracks. They can't do that since it's a universal system. I suppose I just don't understand why not. I guess I'm just not comprehending it. Maybe too early in the day. Brain too full in the new Q&A. Content for Saturday. Yeah, I guess so. I've been a little low on the go-go juice for a while now. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what happens when you run out of juice. Well, maybe we'll get him out. Every time. None. Drink it. But we should be able to turn in, where do you turn this into? I guess maybe next week? On the inside? Because Khadgar's up here, but he doesn't seem interested in talking to me. He seems like he's just kind of done. Is the Lystra? She doesn't want to talk to me either. I think it might be just next week when I'm in there. Start of the raid. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, I guess I'm gonna wrap up for today. I'll be back. I will be back one day. Presumably tomorrow is the schedule. Thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.